Hello, everyone. This is Coach Green, and we are back, week 26, chapter 26, pressing into his presence, the power of persistence. And it reads, in Mark chapter 5, verses 25 to 34, we see the woman with the issue of blood pressing through the crowd to touch Jesus' garment. Her persistence, even through hardship and obstacles, led to her healing. This story highlights an important lesson. Sometimes receiving from God requires a pressing in, a willingness to go after him even when there are barriers. The woman's faith and persistence in seeking Jesus, demonstrates the kind of effort we must have when seeking answers from God. It's not about casual prayers, but about a pressing, determined pursuit of his presence. Like this woman, we must be willing to push through whatever obstacles are in our way, whether they are physical, emotional, or spiritual, amen. When we press into God's presence with persistence, we position ourselves for breakthrough. God is always available to us, but sometimes our faith needs to be activated through perseverance. Amen. You know, my son came home from church with a friend, and I asked him, what did you learn? And he thought for a second, and he said, well, Dad, I learned that sometimes you got to go through some things. Hey, come on, somebody, in Jesus' mighty name. Now, the woman with the issue of blood, let me get to it. My personal favorite, one of my personal favorites, amen. She exhausted all resources, heard Jesus was in town, and decided if I could just press my way through that crowd, amen, and touch the hem of Jesus' garment, amen, then I can be made whole. And so it was. But what about if you're constant in seeking God already, amen, active in ministry and things ain't going your way? And I say that because I've been in many seasons where the only thing that was constant in them, amen, were attacks, challenges, struggles, misfortune, doors closing. And unfortunately, it resulted in my backslide, amen. But that was until I learned that my view of God and his process mattered, amen. Long story short, if I felt like God was abandoning me or had abandoned me, amen, or like living Christ-like just wasn't cutting it, then I threw in the towel and did my own thing, amen. But when I learned that he had my best interest at heart, that he was working things out for my good, that he was working in the midst of, then I was more encouraged, amen, to continue to press my way forward, amen. So my question to you today is how do you view God in this process? And since I've been coaching softball, I'm going to use this analogy to reel this thing in. Do you view him as an obstruction, someone who's blocking your plans, amen, or as an interference in someone who's hindering your ability to make a play or a move in life? Or do you view him as a loving father, a coach who's training you, preparing and equipping you to walk in your purpose, amen, because your view of God in this process really does matter and can determine your next move. And Jesus.